Hi, my name is Cindy Ramirez, and I am doing misrepresentation of minorities in film. In movies, we see tons of stereotypes that we don't even think twice about when seeing. Hollywood will always continue to stereotype minorities in film in a negative way. For example, we see Asian stereotypes always being smart or either strict or either quiet. Here is a man that is a strict parent and doesn't want his kid to pursue his passion because it's not successful. And he is in this movie named Johnny Tsunami. Uh-oh. Here, we also see an African American stereotype. We see them everywhere. People will always say that they're either a gang member or dies in a movie first, but in movies we also see them as being the loud and obnoxious person that has no respect. And it's sad to see the type of stereotypes like this. But stereotype isn't always about race. We also see stereotypes aimed at religion, especially in Easy A, where the girl is judging the crazy girl and doesn't show God's love, apparently. She just judges her. But something that mainly hits home with me is the misrepresentation specifically aiming in Latinos in film. Here we see Jennifer Lopez, that is a maid in Manhattan, but I will explain further detail about that in my other slides. Here we see D.W. Griffith, a man that made a movie, The Thread Destiny, which used the term greaser for the first time to identify a Mexican bandit. This is where the lazy Mexicans started coming from. A negative portrayal of some sort. It's sad that the first movies came to be negative rather than positive. Here we see the Cisco Kid, which is a fictional character found in numerous film, radio, television, and comic book series based on the fictional Western character created by O. Henry in the 1907 short story, The Caballero's Way. This kid was depicted as a heroic Mexican caballero, even though he was originally a cruel outlaw. He kills for sport and is responsible for at least 18 deaths. This is a prime example of the way Latinos were viewed in history, being evil and outrageous. Here we see The Latin Lover, which is a romantic movie about a Mexican that is a player of some sort and isn't a good guy. Here we see El Bandido, which is a Latino bandit, a standard figure in Western adventure films. Here he is unkempt with missing teeth and greasy hair. He is cruel, dishonest, emotional, and quick to resort to violence. These are more modern films, and there were also films with being a drug dealer or a gang member. Yes, we've talked about the history of Latinos in film, but here's a little bit of demography about Latinos. Latinos are almost 50% of the population in some areas. We see all these Latinos here in America that Hollywood makes more Latino films, but more in a negative way. I feel like the more Latinos that come, the more Latinos are portrayed in movies, but not usually in a positive way. Studying Latino stereotypes in film. We need to learn the deep root of how movies are portraying Latinos and how it's affecting society with the stereotypes in film. Latino stereotyping in mass media involves a discursive system that might be called Latinism. Studying stereotypes takes one back to the social sciences and provides a way to connect film criticism. Here is, if you look closely in some movies, right there. They're portrayed as landscapers. Some of them are just maids, but in my head I'm just like, why would they just use Latinos? How come the directors don't use other people as landscapers? Usually they don't speak English, and this is just a typical Mexican. This was a very interesting person that I saw online. That she's a Spanish actress, Paz Vega, that played no, this is wrong. Okay. There are also maids specifically that are just Latinos. If you look closely in movies, most maids are Latinos. This actress right here, she was a maid between 150 and 300 times in her career. That shows you that basically the only thing that Latina actresses role in movies are maids. This is Spanish actress Paz Vega that played Flora Moreno as a poor Mexican single mom who gets hired to live, to know absolutely no English, and is a misrepresentation of Latinos not knowing any English. Selena's an autobiography, but this just shows you that not all Mexican Americans are just maids, but mainly they actually are successful, and which is interesting because they don't show that often in movies. Some challenges of the sound era of Hollywood is that Latino actors and actresses generally found themselves in minor roles, and they made people exaggerate their accents to comic effect, which is really sad. Here we see Sofia Vergara we all know that she has a thick accent, and that's why a lot of people use her in movies, because she portrays this Latin type lady. How it's affected me? Well, basically, not all of us are the same. I'm not a landscaper. I'm not a maid. I'm the first one to I'm the first one to graduate high school and the first one to go to college. And I'm really proud of that. The purpose is that most of the misrepresentations are negative, obviously, and I'm not bashing on movies, but I just don't like the stereotypes. Hollywood shows a lot of stereotypes in any kind of race, but they don't actually see the true person. And now what? I just hope that you try and see the big picture in movies and actually view them and see where else they are played. That's it.